is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Madden 17 online game. The 2016 Super Bowl champions, the Denver Broncos, are up next for the 32-team preview series for the upcoming NFL season. But unfortunately, the Broncos did not make the playoffs last year to try to defend their Super Bowl run. And they had a respectable record, a 9-7 record. It's not like it was a lost season. And when you look at their schedule, you know, they kind of lost to the teams that you would expect them to lose to. But despite that, they still had a chance to make the playoffs about 2/3 of the way through the season. Then they went a little bit cold before winning their season finale against a banged-up Raiders team. But the key turning point to me for the Broncos season last year was that overtime game against the Kansas City Chiefs when, first of all, they fought and clawed their way into overtime. Simeon led the fourth-quarter comeback. Then, near the end of that first OT, after the teams traded field goals, Brandon McManus was sent on the field by Gary Kubiak to kick a 60-plus yarder to try to win the game. It was a very risky situation, and if McManus missed it, then the Chiefs were put in good field position to potentially win the game. So, it was either you send out the punting unit and probably tie, or you give Kansas City a chance to win, and Kansas City ended up winning the game off barely making a field goal, but making a field goal from Santos, and eventually the Chiefs ended up winning the division. And the Broncos, meanwhile, they just were left sputtering. But like I said, when you look at their schedule, you know, they lost to teams that you would expect them to lose. So they lost to the Falcons. They lost to the Patriots. They got swept by the Chiefs. They lost to the Raiders before the Raiders, you know, ended up getting hurt that last week of the season and ended up losing that game. They lost to San Diego for a game. And for Denver this year, when I look at their roster, I don't see them improving to be able to beat those teams that they lost against last year. And their schedule this year, not really looking any bit easier. It was pretty tough last season, and it's not really any bit easier this season. They play against the NFC East, and no one's trying to play against Dallas with Dak and Ezekiel Elliott, the Giants and Eagles defenses, and then the Redskins offense as well. And not only that, they play against their own division. Each team's 2 times, and the AFC West is one of the elite pass rushing divisions in the league, if not the division with the best collection of pass rushers. The Broncos themselves have Von Miller, have Barrett, have Shane Ray. But when you look at the Raiders with Khalil Mack and Bruce Irvin, the Chargers now have Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa, and then the Chiefs for the longest time, and still do have Justin Houston and Tamba Hali, and D Ford on top of that. So it's a division where you need a good offensive line, you need good tackles, and the Broncos did not have that last year. They got sacked a lot, and they haven't really improved that too much. I mean, to their credit, they tried to improve the offensive line. They signed Ronald Leary in the offseason, and they actually drafted someone in the first round, Garrett Bowles, offensive lineman, projected to be the starting left tackle. They kind of thrown him in the fire, but, I mean, the first game of the season they play for this upcoming season is against the San Diego Chargers. So right away, their tackles are going to be tested going against Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, and you know, just, you know, looking at the Broncos roster, it doesn't feel like there's been too many improvements from what they did last year. And last year, I felt like they did, you know, basically what they could have done with the team that they had assembled, about a 9-7. The quarterback position has not really improved. Paxton Lynch last year looked like a bust, to be honest to me. Not to, you know, crap on him or anything, but he just didn't look too good. I'm not too sure how much he's going to give you of anything. Trevor Siemian looked way better than Paxton Lynch, and Trevor Siemian did not look good last year, right? Trevor Siemian looked way better than Paxton Lynch, but Trevor Siemian still looked like way below average quarterback in the NFL, someone that you don't want to be starting. And these guys made Peyton Manning look good, and Brock Osweiler look good from 2 seasons ago, and those two weren't that good as starting quarterback. So Denver basically hasn't had a good quarterback in a while. Tim Tebow might be able to quarterback this team better this season. If we're being real, maybe not, but just looking at the Broncos offense, it's just, there's not too much talent. They signed Jamal Charles in the offseason, so Devontae Booker and CJ Anderson, who was banged up a lot of last year, hoping to improve one of the worst running games, but this offensive line situation might not really be improving. Ronald Lear, we have to see how he plays outside of Dallas. Parrott has had a breakout year. They have Max Garcia, who's been okay, but those tackle spots just, you know, not looking good. I'm not sure it's really going to improve their running game. And at this point of his career, I don't know how much Jamal Charles really gets to bring to this offense. And then the passing offense, Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders are one of the best 1-2 wide receiver combinations in the league. But after that, who else is bringing anything to the table? Last year, the answer to that question was nothing. Thomas and Sanders had 1,000-yard seasons apiece. No one else really went over 300 yards. So someone's got to provide for that offense, and they haven't really done too much to improve that the last couple of years in the draft. This year, they drafted Carlos Henderson as a third-round pick out of Louisiana Tech, wide receiver, hoping he brings something. And this year's draft class is kind of essential at the top of the draft, hoping these guys produce. DeMarcus Walker, second-round pick out of Florida State, you're hoping he brings something to a defensive line that is slowly losing the depth that made them one of the elite defenses in the NFL and led them to that Super Bowl run. Now, they still got a lot of big names on the defensive side of football, so it's still going to be really good, all right? The defense will definitely be able to carry the Broncos to some wins, maybe not as many as before, but they still got one of the best pass defenses in the league with Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr., Bradley Roby, that three-headed monster at cornerback, and then you got Darian Stewart and TJ Ward at the safety spots. But, you know, even the safety spots, they're not as, you know, like TJ Ward didn't have the kind of year that he's had in years past, and Darian Stewart, you know, even he wasn't as good as he was during the Broncos Super Bowl run and all that. Okay, though, it's not bad or anything. It just, you know, the defense might be losing a little bit, not too much, but I just feel like, you know, mainly the main concern for me with this defense is the depth on the defensive line, especially inside. Like, besides Derek Wolfe, there's not too many big boys in there to really help out to try to stop the run, and, you know, I haven't really seen them improve that too much. Maybe, hopefully, DeMarcus Walker is some sort of answer. But when you look at the draft the last couple of years for the Broncos, one guy that you hope helps is Adam Gotsis, I believe his name is. I hope I'm saying it right. Second-round pick last year. But the drafts for the Broncos have not been too good lately. Looking through, I mean, they've had a couple of good pickups like Mac Garcia. They got Paradis a couple of years ago. Hopefully, Devontae Booker provides something. And Shane Ray. But, I mean, looking around, like, first-round pick Sylvester Williams giving you nothing. Monty Ball was a bust. Corey Latimer is looking like a bust. Ty Sambralos, second-round pick at the tackle spot. That dude was a human turnstile at the tackle positions. He's part of why the Broncos had such a bad tackle duo last year. And there's not really too much to smile about for this Broncos team when you're looking at what they've drafted lately. And I feel like that's why the Broncos are due for a regression this season, because they've had to replace the elite talent that they could not pay because of the salary cap, and they haven't brought in new talent to replace those guys, unfortunately, and it's slowly but surely deteriorating this team down. And then on top of that, the Broncos just made a lot of silly mistakes last year, like too many turnovers, as you would expect, with a, you know, below-average quarterback leading the way and a bad offensive line. They had too many penalties. Gary Kubiak has suddenly retired, so they got a new coach at the helm. But I'm just not sure that things change in Denver this season. I'm glad John Elway got his extension the other day, because I don't know, if they waited until after this season, they might have not given Elway the extension, seeing the direction this team is heading for. And this draft class can definitely change a lot of things for this Broncos team and push them towards a playoff run, because any team in the AFC West can make a playoff push, at least for a wildcard spot. There's enough talent on any of these teams, and that's what makes this division, in my opinion, the toughest division in the NFL this season. So, you know, they still got the elite pass defense. They still got elite pass rush. And part of that pass rush is because their pass defense is able to hold up in coverage. And we end up losing this game by throwing that pick right there. I'll get into that in a second. We're pretty much done with this preview. I think that's all we got to say about the Denver Broncos. I think they're about to be like a 6-10 kind of team this year. I don't know, I see a little bit of regression for the Broncos. I feel like they haven't really improved, and if you haven't really improved in the NFL, there's only one way to go, and that's down, I feel like. And the main spot in the NFL is the quarterback position, and they haven't improved that pretty much at all. So, I mean, the Broncos definitely can make a run towards a wildcard spot. I just don't see it this year. I think they're like a 6-10 team, maybe a 7-9 or something like that. And that's just my take on the Broncos. Let me know what you guys think, Broncos fans. Let me know if you guys are feeling optimistic about your team. Let me know why. Let me know why I could be wrong about this prediction. Or let me know why you guys think I'm right. Why you guys think the Broncos might actually... I think they're going to be in the cellar in the AFC West this year. There's too many tough teams. But this game in general, this game we just played, this Madden game, we ended up losing it. I was really frustrated when I was playing this game based on a game I played earlier, which you guys will see that will be uploaded later tonight. I don't know, I was just like frustrated entering the game, and then Trevor Siemian was not playing well, and then I kept on trying to playmaker receivers in the fourth quarter, and the playmaker system is broken this year, so I don't know why the hell I was trying to rely on that and end up throwing my last 2 interceptions trying to trust a broken playmaker system. But mainly in general, I kind of lost the game my own. It just happens sometimes, you know. We're playing a lot of games for this 32-team preview series. I'm not going to play well in every single one of them, so leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys next time.